Today we're going to be sublimating on heat transfer vinyl to make cotton shirts. Hi y'all, and welcome to Daily Dose of DIY. And you may be wondering, why not just use printable heat transfer vinyl? I mean, it's an option, right? We will get into that, but let's talk about sublimation first. So if you are into sublimation, I'm sure you know it works best on 100% polyester white shirts. That is what will give you the best sublimation transfer. And if you're new to sublimation, I will link you right up here and down below a video on everything you need to know to get started with sublimation. But basically, it's a chemical reaction between the sublimation ink and the 100% polyester that makes it bond to the fabric. So that means we typically cannot sublimate on cotton shirts. It will not work. And the lower the polyester count, the more faded your sublimation transfer will be. You also cannot sublimate on dark shirts like I did this one because the ink just won't show up well unless you bleach it first, which I also have tutorials on doing bleach shirts that you can check out right up here. So the first benefit of using white HTV for sublimation is it gives you the white colors. As you know, sublimation does not print white ink, so it's a way to give us white, and it's again a way to sublimate on darker colored shirts and cotton. However, you can't use just any heat transfer vinyl to sublimate on. I would definitely steer clear of Cricut brand and Caesar brand, Caesar Easy Weed at least. You can sublimate on glitters, and you can sublimate on Caesar Mystic White, I believe it's called. Definitely no Cricut brand and no Caesar Easy Weed. I am using htvront Sublimation HTV for dark fabrics. It is white. They also have one for clear if you want to do white shirts or lighter colored shirts. Be sure to check the description for links to htvront. If you're catching this video when it first comes out, they're having a great sale, and I do highly recommend their products. So to sublimate on dark shirts and 100% cotton, you are going to need to grab you some of this Sublimation HTV. I'm using the one for dark fabric. You'll need some transfers. I have two of them that you can use for free. The first one is God is Good, and the second one is Thankful, Blessed, and Kind of a Mess. That's my life. Click the link in the description and it will take you to the page to sign up to get these free designs. I have other free sublimation designs for you in my library, plus loads of SVG files that you can use. I am using my Cricut machine today to cut the vinyl and do the designs in, so I will show you all the steps for that. Be sure you also have a cut mat and weeding tools, and of course you will need a shirt to sublimate on. Let's jump right in. In Cricut Design Space, we are going to upload our sublimation design. So go to Uploads, Upload Image, and I'm just going to drag and drop our design in. Once the design loads, we can just click Simple for this and then click Continue. On the next screen, just click Apply and Continue, and on the screen after that, we're going to select Cut Image and then Upload. Finally, select your image and then click Add to Canvas. Now, when this comes into Design Space, this is notorious for PNGs, it is going to be huge. So we need to downsize it to our project size. I'm going to go down to the bottom and reduce our canvas to 25% so we can see the whole thing. As you can see, it's 30 some inches. That is way too big. If you do not already know the size of your sublimation design and print, the easiest way is to grab a measuring tape and measure across and get the width. This design is just a hair over an 8 1/8 inches. So back in Design Space, I'm going to change the width up on the top menu to 8.15. Now that it's the proper size, I can go back and bring our canvas back up to 100%, and then I'm going to make a copy of this by hitting Control-C to copy, Control-V to paste on my keyboard. Go to the top menu and change the color of your copy so we can see what we're doing, and then I'm going to place the copy over the original and go to any one of the corners and reduce the size a little bit. Once the size is reduced, place the purple one over your black one and just make sure there's a good margin all the way around. The purple is what we're actually going to cut the HTV out of. So we don't actually need the black shape. You can go ahead and select that and then delete it and click the Make It button. Once you're on the matte screen, we are cutting heat transfer vinyl, so we will need to click Mirror, and then we're going to click Continue. If you have a Cricut Explorer, set your dial to vinyl, and on our Cricut Maker, we're going to choose vinyl. I don't think, ironically, I have vinyl up, so I'm going to grab it from the list of materials. So I have my Sublimation HTV for dark fabric here. It comes in a roll. It includes the carrier sheet, so you do not need an extra carrier sheet or transfer paper. The carrier side is the glossy side, and the vinyl side should be the inside of the roll. It's the dull side. So we're just going to go ahead and add this to our mat and get it cut on our Cricut. Once it has finished cutting, unload your mat, and then we're going to grab our weeding tool and pull off the extra vinyl. The vinyl cut beautifully. Again, that's under the matte vinyl setting on your Cricut. We're just going to flip our mat over and remove the vinyl and then trim up the carrier sheet and get ready to press. Okay, I have my htvront auto press here. I am heating it up to 390 degrees, and our first press is going to be 15 seconds. While that's heating up, I'm just going to double check the HTV we cut and make sure it is going to line up well. Kind of stuck to itself. I'm telling you, this carrier sheet is good and sticky. Place it face down over our sublimation printout, and we have a good margin over all of it, so we have a bleed to make sure we cover all the heat transfer vinyl. Once this gets heated up, we're going to pre-press our shirt. While my heat press is heating up, I went ahead and trimmed down our transfer. It sounds like it's ready now. I'm going to pre-press my shirt. I think it's time for me to get a new mat. This is a little well used. I've used this heat press over and over and over again. I hear they're having a good sale on it right now if you catch this video as soon as it came out. So I will be sure to link this in the description for you. You will not regret owning one of these. For my shirt pre-press, I'm going to fold my shirt in half so that I can get to the center. I tuck the sleeves down in there and push it in, and it will automatically press. Once the pre-press is done, I'm going to go ahead and unfold it, and we have a nice line down the center. It might not be showing up on camera, but that will help me center the design. Before I put the heat transfer vinyl down, I am going to go over it with my roller and get all these fuzzies and dust off of the shirt. Once that is done, I'm going to take our piece of heat transfer vinyl and fold it in half backwards, so I got the center of our heat transfer vinyl, and then I can line it up on the line that we created on our shirt. We're going about 2 inches down from the bottom of the collar. Once the heat transfer vinyl is centered, I'm going to put it back in. It is going to press for 15 seconds. Once it has cooled down enough to touch, go ahead and remove the carrier sheet from the vinyl. And now we are ready to press the sublimation design. So I'm going to place the sublimation design face down over the heat transfer vinyl and make sure it lines up. Once you have one end lined up, go ahead and tape it down. The top looks good as well, so I'm going to tape it all down and we'll be ready to press. Finally, add a piece of parchment paper or a Teflon sheet to the top to protect your plates from the sublimation, and press at 390 for 50 seconds. Once it is finished pressing, again, you want to wait until it cools down a little bit before we remove the sublimation transfer. Once it's cool to the touch, it's safe to go ahead and remove it. And then you can see our beautiful sublimation design on a black shirt. I'm going to run this through the washing machine a couple of times and we'll see how it does. So to care for these shirts, you will want to turn them inside out and wash in cool water, mild detergent, and tumble dry on low. It's preferred if you hang it to dry. I've washed both of these shirts, this one 3 times now. It is still good, there's no cracking. The vinyl will eventually give out and start to crack and peel, but it should last you, if you take care of it well, 2 to 3 years at least. And then, as I mentioned at the beginning, the ink will never fade. So this vinyl definitely washes well. If I have one complaint, if you're used to sublimation shirts, is it has that kind of vinyl feel. It doesn't really bug me when I'm wearing it. I don't notice it, but I prefer straight up sublimation. But this is a way to get your black and darker shirts done and to get white in your sublimation files, which is worth it for those things. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe for more fun crafts and tutorials. God bless.